Hi, welcome to Anybody Who Ain't Anybody. My name's Tim Zajkowski, and today we're in an unnamed hotel in outside Detroit. And I'm sitting here with a friend of mine who's a comic, a writer, contributing writer for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Weekend Update.
Yep.
A world traveler.
Yep.
Keith Alberstadt. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim.
Man, we've been friends for years. I'm glad.
Years.
Years, absolutely. Now, you've also been over to the Middle East on how many occasions?
Let's see. I was in Afghanistan once. Did about 10 days there. 3 times to Iraq, and twice to the Middle East, like the general theater, like Kuwait, and Djibouti, and Bahrain, Qatar, like the general war area.
And how much time have you spent there?
Adding them all together. Couple of months, maybe.
A couple of months.
2.5 months.
Now, is that a Comics on Tour, Comics on Duty?
It's called Comics on Duty.
Comics on Duty.
Yep.
And
formerly based here in the lovely Michigan area.
Yeah, now it's in Texas.
Yep.
Based out of Texas. You know what I want to ask you? Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're preparing to go.
Yes.
Kind of tell your story about Tell your favorite stuff about it, the hardest stuff about it. How does that work? You're an entertainer. You go over there. What?
My first tour was in Iraq, and so that was where I was all holy smokes. I was saying this sounds like I'm being facetious, but I'm not. I was saying goodbyes to my family. Like this is kind of weird. I'm going to a war zone.
It may be. Right.
But statistically, and I kept telling my mom this when she was really worried about me going over. So statistically, there's a better chance of me getting killed on a highway in Pennsylvania,
right,
than in the safe zone of being on base. It's not like we were out in the middle of Fallujah. We were on American bases.
I have never heard of an entertainer being hurt or killed entertaining the troops.
Yeah. We're VIPs. In fact,
right.
Let's fast forward to there was one year, it was 2007, where we went to both Afghanistan and Iraq. So we went to Afghanistan first, and is that right? Yeah, Afghanistan first. And that was just a crazy trip. I mean, it was so nerve-wracking. We get there, it's beautiful. The mountains are when we were flying in, it was gorgeous. One of the most beautiful countries I've ever.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
not something you would consider.
No, and I was fortunate because I got to. They can only let one person up into the cockpit at a time. We were in a C-130, which is also cool because there's a 22-year-old Air Force graduate flying a gigantic C-130.
Wow, 22.
I get to the cockpit, I'm like,
kid, yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah.
So I just graduated from the Air Force.
Yeah,
Want to buy some cookies?
Oh yeah, what grade are you in?
It was whatever. Right. It's insane. But through the cockpit, you can't in the belly, but in the cockpit you can see just how gorgeous the country is. So I'm thinking like this is going to be another great trip. It's just going to be safe. I'm just going to enjoy the moment. And then it just gets nuts. We get to the show. We finally take our armor off so we can get on stage and do our normal stuff. Literally, not even 30 minutes after our show's over, we get mortared. So at least they had the decency to wait.
Yeah, well, yeah, they didn't want to interrupt the show.
But yeah, it was like
those extremists. They got a heart.
Bunker, 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 bunker. So we're all running to the bunkers, and a lot of the soldiers were like, "Here we go again."
Yeah, yeah. Right.
There's no emergency
this
really.
It's not new for them.
What the Iraqis, I shouldn't say Iraqis, but the insurgents, one of their methods was, as far as mortars go, they would do it from pickup trucks. With a pickup truck, it's more difficult. So it's all random shots. It's just somebody in a pickup, they're driving by the base, and they drive off. They don't know. They're not aiming.
They're not aiming at anything.
No. Well, one of the mortars hit our ammo dump. Where we store everything.
Yeah.
Because sure enough,
you do hit it.
It was too dangerous. It was too much of a risk for them to fight the fire. So they just bailed. They just said, just evacuate the area. Let it burn off. Well, here's what was burning off. Howitzer shells, C4, I mean, all these high intensity explosives, and they were so powerful that the buildings they shipped us off in. This is what I was telling you when you said nobody I've ever talked to entertainment wise has gotten hurt over there.
Oh, okay.
Because they treat us as VIPs.
Right.
So this is an example of that. Like once this went down, it was get the comics to the officers' building.
Nobody's more
now.
important than you.
We're right. They don't want a civilian injury on their hands.
No.
So so we get to the bunker. We'll wait, for most of the explosives to die down before shipping us off, and they hightailed us over there. And the only vehicles they had, as far as Humvees, were basically 2 or 3 person occupancy, like the driver and one other person. So
okay.
it's like it was like a.
And how many comics?
There were 4 of us.
4 of us. Okay.
It was a long, long night. Nobody got a lot of sleep that night.
Yeah.
We couldn't leave for 3 days because the stuff burned off over the course of maybe 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
Okay.
But they still had unexploded ordnances. So we couldn't leave until it was safe enough for them to bring an EOD in, which is a bomb squad, the EOD unit with the robots and the, picking up stuff hasn't exploded yet because in case it explodes. So it's a long wait. They had to wait for it safe enough for a helicopter to come in with the EOD and land, do their work, and then safe enough for us to fly out of there. And I want to give a shout out to Comics on Duty. I'm not familiar with how the USO operates, but they're more celebrity based.
Oh, okay.
And it's more than just comedians. It's the comedians they get are guys like Robin Williams.
Right.
But it's mostly
they get bands.
A lot of musicians.
Yeah.
Just famous people in general, like Katy Perry or
Kid Rock goes over on a regular basis.
Kid Rock, yeah. Or actors like Gary Sinise.
Oh, he does that a lot, doesn't he? Yeah.
And they have like cheerleaders from Denver Broncos, which I've heard are nightmares. They're so high maintenance. Like I get my makeup. I'm gonna get my makeup on. I'm in the It's 120 degrees outside. Let me get my makeup on.
Right.
But the Comics on Duty tour is it's non-celebrity.
Right.
And it's low maintenance. But we were actually in the trenches, so
you lived with them.
We lived with them. We ate with them.
Right,
we worked out with them. We were on the base with them,
right.
And it was great to chit chat and talk. And they would recognize us from the shows the next day. Oh, you guys were great last night.
Yeah.
But the greatest physical thing that I've gotten out of those are I took over after my first tour. I got the idea to take over notebooks, and every show I'd say, "Hey, not a big deal. No obligation, but if you could please sign, I want your signatures. I want."
Oh, I want your autograph.
And so I had a notebook on
Nice.
each side of the stage, and it amazed me.
Excellent idea.
People would wait in line, sometimes 15, 20, 30 minutes, just to sign a thank you, God bless. And you look at that stuff later, and you're like, holy crap. You know?
Yeah.
Like they've got stuff they want to do. They want to go back to their bunkers and play cards or watch a DVD. But for them to take that time
to appreciate you
to
that
say, God bless you, and then they'll make maybe a shout out to their hometown or to their whatever their favorite sports team is.
Oh, yeah.
But that meant the world to me. And I still periodically go back and look at those notebooks and just appreciate what they're doing.
There was a.
That's the ironic. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's the whole irony of doing these shows over there. They thank us.
Right.
Like, wait a minute.
Right,
I'm not on a 12-month tour.
Right.
That's
I'm not living here
dodging bullets and roadside bombs
and eating sand in the hot.
Right.
Yeah. Mr. Alberstadt.
Yes, sir.
Amazing guest. Knew you would be.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, and easy.
Laid back.
Even though we're working. This is professional work. Right
It is
here.
work.
Trust me. Keith Alberstadt.
Thank you, Tim.
My pleasure.
Vandy fans.
Detroit Painters Union Trade School. Second City, Detroit. All right, now we're talking. All right. See, that was nothing to it.
It's fun.
Nothing to it.